couple things before we do, however. If you know someone who wants to play in a Geomerit game, send them my way. I'd love to talk to them about either getting on the wait list or joining a one-shot. Speaking of one-shots, I have a one-shot happening on March 13th with Nerdhalla. She's a famous miniature painter here on Twitch, and she's done stuff for Felicia Day and all sorts of other celebrities. So go check her out here on Twitch. We also, I believe I've got 2 tickets for that still available. Those tickets are available right on the front page of geomerit.com, where you can find the Scams Edition hoodies, sweatshirt, or hoodies, t-shirts, and tank tops. Those are really comfortable and super pretty. We also have the GM tip videos and archives over on YouTube. If you do watch those, do hit a thumbs up. It does help me out a ton. We also have the clip contest going on in Discord. If there's a moment from a session you like, toss a clip into the clip contest channel and you'll be automatically entered for a raffle at the end of the month for a really cool prize. The February prize is a Sageos Edition hoodie, and we'll be holding that raffle at the end of today's session. So stick around for the end when we do that drawing. The list of entries is in the FYI channel in Discord. That's going to be really cool. We also have the Toyvoa Wiki over at toyvoarpg.com, where we have hundreds of articles for you guys to explore about the campaign setting, figure out what all is going on in the world. But let's go ahead and get you guys started, because it's time for you guys to play some D&D. We got a lot to cover after last week's episode. Hope you guys have your notebooks, because we're in for a doozy.
We're supposed to have notebooks?
Shush.
Brand new one starting today.
All right. If you need notebooks, we sell them over at gmerit.com.
They're really nice.
They're really nice, and they work with gel pens, and they work with fountain pens, etc. Yes, they're really, really cool. All right. Well, you guys are adventuring in the lands of Toyvoa. Most recently, you are down here in Shatter Shaddai, where you have come seeking an audience with the Sultan in an effort to gain political power and favors, and after a couple weeks ago, the revelation that a shard of the baneful Ashwood Spire is somewhere here in Shatter Shaddai. You, in order to get an audience with the Sultan, have been instructed that you must receive letters of recommendation from 12 members of the Batim, the ruling council of the Majocracy. Last week, we did a little bit of a flashback episode to when you guys were departing the Temple of Imkael and met up with the people from the Friday Night Lights. You discovered more information regarding the trial of Covet von Sin and the Judge of the Dead, and the cause of that misappropriation of guilt. So, after the revelations from last week, you guys found yourselves at the Ebon Pearl, a luxurious inn here in Shatter Shaddai, where you've been provided rooms by a team member, Rafaj, one of the archmages of the city. The rooms are luxurious and comfortable. As you guys have the day to yourselves, what would you like to do?
Since it's the Mustachios tab, I think I'm ordering room service.
What kind of room service are you ordering, sir?
We're going to start with beverages and food.
Okay. Is there a specific beverage or food that you desire?
Why?
Well, it's his tab, so yes.
So, yes. All right. So, as you say yes, you want beverages and food, the staff are going to come in and over the span of the next hour, provide you with so much food and so many different beverages that you're unable to consume it all. The waiter, the server, brings in little cart after little cart filled with fruits and pastries, meats and delicacies. It's vegetables on vegetables, cheese platters and crackers, anything that you can imagine, little fishes, all sorts of piles of caviar, wines, fruit juices, fresh and sparkling waters, all served with ice.
No, this is amazing. Try this. I didn't think they had this in the material point.
Kavit comes into the room and she's like, holy shit, what did you do?
I ordered room service.
All of it?
I'm not paying for it.
Yet? She's just like, you know better than this. Oh gosh. MKL, help me.
So
She just
you look at this spread, Covet, with an insight check that you do not need to roll. This is easily a couple hundred gold in order to pay for this.
Covet will just look at Twilight and then look at the food, and this poor guy has just gone back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Yes, over and over again. There's a couple other people who bring in food as well.
How many people are there?
10?
10?
Yes, ma'am. It's a veritable small army of waiters and servants.
She looks at Twilight and she just kind of crosses her arms and says, well?
Here, taste this.
She walks over to each server and tips them 50 gold each.
Okay. A woman will enter and be offering a mani-pedi, as it is part of the room service.
Miss Lauren? Damn it! Twilight.
Tell me Twilight would not have ordered this for Covet. Tell me a lie.
I don't know, would he?
Enjoy.
She's like, where do you want me to sit?
Right here. And she will gesture to the small bench at the edge of the bed. And she will get down on her knees before you and perform a mani-pedicure as she produces a small kit, a little toolbox that has a padded top as a footrest.
Okay. She allows this to happen, and she, gives, the instructions of how she wants the nails and that sort of thing. Color, whole 9 yards that you would do in a spa situation.
Okay.
She's kind of she's very irritated because Twilight just did all this and not on our tab. But at the same time, she's like, it's been a long time.
The eucalyptus and mint lotion that she's using seeps into your skin and makes you super relaxed.
Have it feel super relaxed.
Got one job on this show.
I have some other people that might that are part of my group that might be interested in your services, ma'am. What are your what's your name, ma'am? I'm sorry.
Her name is Esenia.
Yesenia. Oh wow, I was close. Okay.
She smiles. Of course, mistress. Would you like them to be placed on the same tab?
No, I'll pay for them. Kind of a treat for everything that they've for all the travel that we've done together.
I understand. But Lord Rafage insists that you be paid for.
Understood. If that is what he wishes, then I will oblige. Um, Thank you. I appreciate it.
She smiles and nods. And after she does your nails to perfection, and she offers embellishments for your nails.
Real life player is a sucker for that. So yes.
Okay. So she is going to pull out a single bristled brush, and with gold leaf will paint small runes of relaxation on your fingernails.
Does the fact that I'm stressed show?
He looks at you and smiles. No, ma'am. This is standard procedure.
I think it's lovely.
The runes begin to glow, and Covet, you have a sense of a little bit of ease as the weight of the world seems to just lighten off your hands, and your hands almost feel levitated a little bit.
Ah, that's nice. Covet just kind of sits back a little bit more and she's like, oh yeah, that's nice. But not too far away where it pulls away from her because she's still doing her work, but just kind of like what she would experience at home in a Shelley, and she would just kind of, in the privacy of her home, she would just be able to slouch when her mother's not around and just relax.
This is the spell Minor Mage Hand. It's only enough to lift 1 pound, but it's enough to hold your hands aloft and relieve the stress.
She likes it. She likes it a lot.
That's a cool way to use that spell, too.
So, Twilight, you will find a section of the breakfast that is considerably heartier than the rest. It is filled with a large section of meat pies and kolaches that are oversized. Instead
I
of the
like
small
kolache.
breakfast sausage, it is an entire 2-inch Polish sausage wrapped in puff pastry. Are you muted, Twilight?
No, I'm
Oh.
actually looking to see if there's anything actually delicious on there.
If there's anything delicious on there?
Covet just looks at him and raises her eyebrow.
So, you will find that there's a brawn roll, which is a puff pastry with caramelized onions and aged cheddar, topped with some smoked sea salt. There's a buttery croissant with shaved steak, some mushrooms, and some garlic aioli. There's a Danish that has spinach, ricotta cheese, drizzled with light honey. There's a double crust, fist-sized meat pie loaded with braised pork, smoked Gouda, and a hint of whiskey-infused barbecue sauce. You'll find a savory tartlet filled with spiced sausage, roasted peppers, and a sharp white cheddar custard that's been baked until perfectly golden. And then at the very end, Twilight, you find a towering sandwich. The crust and bread is made of pastry dough, and inside there is pulled duck, bacon, and just a hint of truffle oil.
That sounds good.
It's easily a 3-inch thick sandwich that is 80% meat.
Perfect.
As you pick it up, you'll see that there's a nice wrapper on it, and there's a small silver engraving on the napkin that says the Buff Puff.
Of course, Twilight would go for that one.
Of course. This is a sandwich called the Power Puff from the Buff Puff pastry pool. For those interested, I have placed the menu for the Buff Puff in the Food and Drink channel in Discord. And if you have a challenge, post a picture of you making one of these, and we'll see about maybe doing a giveaway for the best one of those meals. Kind of fun. So, do you share this food with the rest of the party, Covet and Twilight, or are you keeping this cornucopia of delicious delicacies to yourselves?
Covet will look at Twilight because he is too engrossed in this sandwich, and she will share it with the rest of the party.
In a different room?
No, she will look at the gentleman that looks to be in charge of the rest of them.
Mm-hmm.
And she will tell him, if you don't mind getting my companions, we will share this food, and yeah. Thanks.
His name is Raphael.
Raphael, thank you. You knew what I was trying to do.
He nods. Of course, miss. Miss Lauren?
What's his title?
He is just a server. Not a special title or anything. He's just...
Well, I mean, not maitre d' or anything like that. Not head concierge.
No, he's just a concierge and server here at the Ebon Pearl. Not head concierge, nothing. The head concierge... Let me grab him, because I have him. I just didn't think he would have been at your room. Let me grab him here. Here we go.
I guess the question is, why wouldn't he have been at the room that was at the service at the request of one of the 12?
Because he's been busy, sir. So, as they go off to provide services to others, the head concierge here would be named Ikaiden. So, is there anything that you need?
I wanted to applaud you on the service of those who have taken care of us today. It takes somebody of great skill to command that many.
He nods. Of course. We do our very best to provide you with the best dining and stay experience within all of Shedder Shaddai. And preferably in the entire world of Toivoa. But you understand we do have challenges from the Central Wall. We are rated second in all of Toivoa.
Well, I'm certain that you are not far from becoming the best.
He bows, keeping his eyes forward the whole time. Of course, but we have a long way to go until we are to meet the Empress's kiss.
Does Covet recognize that based on her
Just
growth?
you do not need to roll a history check because Covet has high tastes, and the fact that Twilight aspires to go to places like this on a regular basis. The Empress's Kiss is a exceedingly fancy hotel within the bounds of the Central Wall.
So, with that, she nods and again, if she asks, obviously, she says, obviously, if there's anything that we need, it's just to let you know. What are some of the highlights other than the Grand Library of this city that not too touristy, but touristy all the same?
We have several parks. We have fishing. We have a variety of pleasure cruises and shows.
What is your favorite as a local?
As a local, miss, my tastes tend to be different than most travelers. I'm not certain it would be met with approval, but I personally like polo.
Polo? Are we talking horse or water?
Madam, no, camel.
Oh. What fun. Interesting.
Winkle says he's seen that.
It's actually really cool. I have seen it too. Used to live down the street from the polo fields in California.
That's really cool. Tell me, when is the next game?
This Saturday.
If we are still in town, I would like to see if I could catch a game. That would be a lot of fun.
He smiles. Of course, madam. Would you participate or would you be a spectator?
I would probably be a spectator.
A shame. Someone as beautiful as you and your husband would make magnificent spectacles upon the camels.
Well, I am only familiar with the rules of the horse and of the water, not of the camel.
The horse and the camel are the same.
Ah, okay. Maybe next time, but I think the first time would be fun to watch.
We do intergender polo because we believe everyone is equal on the polo fields. The wrath of some of our women are phenomenal.
So where are these games held?
At the polo fields. They are quite well curated and landscaped. There are beautiful gardens outside. If you simply wish to smell the flowers, it could be a nice visit to a botanical garden.
Very nice. I appreciate your advice.
He smiles. By the way, If there is anything you need, any thought that goes unresolved, we are at your service.
Understood.
He bows and begins to back out of the room, closing the doors behind him. As the doors close, Slarin, you will have been visited by the other servants, and parts of food would be wheeled in to you as well. It's Ayla and Winkle, Eowyn, each of you have a room and are going to receive the same treatment. And these are not the same carts that Covenant and Twilight got, but fresh ones.
Oh my word. Let me get my book out.
As Ayla's eyes gain 2 pounds today.
And Ayla begins to take notes.
Awesome. Winkle, you don't see a lot of mooseberries in here, but the protein stacks here pretty strong.
Yeah, but the fresh vegetables, Moose love vegetables. So I just go over to one of the carts and start on one end of it and clean it.
Okay. As you try to take your notes, Ayla, Winkle is consuming your study material.
Winkle, can you slow down just a little bit so I can take notes on this before it's consumed? Okay, thank you.
He has a veritable mustache of asparagus at the moment.
Is the asparagus steamed, raw, or what?
Lightly steamed with a little lemon.
Ooh, nice.
Still got that little bit of a toothsomeness to it, to where it hasn't gone limp. All right. So, Eowyn, what would you be having for your meal today? Did we lose Eowyn? Oh, there you are. Cool.
I'm not much of an expert in food, so I don't really know.
Okay. You look at the tray, there's pastries, there's vegetables, fruits, all sorts of drinks. You just pick something up at random?
I would think they would have the wrong room at first.
Okay. They will smile at you. I'm sorry, sir, but we are certain this is the right room. Lord Rafaj has provided you with the delicacies of the city.
Oh, okay. Can you extend my thanks to him then?
Of course, sir. Would you like a recommendation, sir?
Sure.
And he is going to go to the cart and with a silver spatula pry up a small diamond pastry. It looks like it has 1,000 layers in 1 inch, with a series of pecans melded in there, crumbled with a bit of cinnamon, and it's glazed perfectly with honey. It's not dripping, but looks crispy. Puts it on a small silver plate and hands it to you. This is called baklava. It is from our local pastry shop, and I believe you would enjoy it. It is quite popular.
I've had this in Greece and it's amazing!
We were talking about this last night, and several of the party members last night make it on a regular basis for Christmas.
I had a student from grease, whose dad would make this and send it to me for Christmas every year. I loved it.
For those who know Brad as a character, real life Brad's signature dish is baklava.
Oh, so good.
I gotta meet him in real life.
So, do you try this, Awen?
Sure, I'll try it.
Okay. As you put it into your mouth, it's almost hard until your teeth pierce it, and it's like a series of cracks and crumbles as the thing shatters into your mouth in an explosion of honey and almond and cinnamon flavor. The whole thing begins to just dissolve until you meet the pecans in the bottom of it, which give it a nice toothsome crunch.
If you've never had it before, I think the closest flavor that you could get is like a honey bear claw, just a little bit more crunchy.
Erwin, if you find baklava, you'll like it. As long as you're not allergic to honey.
I don't know anyone who doesn't love it.
Right.
Is it from Greece?
It's from Greece.
Yes.
It's from Greece. There's several places here in town that you can get it at.
My mother knows a Greece restaurant. I'll see if they have it next time.
They will have it.
They will have it. It's so good.
So it's called baklava, and I will put that in chat for you here. And I will send you a picture.
No, when I had it in Greece, they had it with pistachio. That was a different.
We've seen it with pistachio and almonds and walnuts and pecans. It really depends on the specifics.
Yep,
I've
region.
seen it. I talked to Laura's dad, and he said they use just whatever nuts they have on hand.
Yep. That is a picture of baklava for you.
It's so good.
Does that make sense for you there, Eowyn?
Yeah, it does make sense.
Okay, it's delicious. Yeah, it's a whole bunch of pastry layers glued together with honey and butter.
If you're on a diet, don't eat it.
If you're on a diet like me, do eat it because you need the calories. I've recently had to discover that I need to eat 10 times as much as I had been.
And it's the kind of sweet that even a diabetic can eat because the honey is processed correctly by a diabetic.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's good stuff. All right. It's Lauren. What would you be partaking in this morning?
I will just grab the first thing that I see. It has a sprinkle of smoked sea salt. The brawn roll, and I will take it. I will thank them for it, and I will eat it once I finish writing a couple of notes that I've been working on this morning.
Okay. What are the notes about?
They are 2 letters that are meant for the tribunal. One detailing the results of my conversation with Kier last week, and the other just kind of a summary of diplomatic observations from Nausha, Shu, and Quartered Gruel.
Okay. I'm curious to read them.
I will post the Google Doc in Discord.
Thank you.
There.
And would you partake in a mani-pedi?
Sloran would not this morning.
No? Okay. All right. So, what would you guys like to do after breakfast and after a pampering session?
I guess you didn't see my note.
I did see that. I am waiting to cover that. Are you going to ask that?
So, the thing is there's the best thing in the world is his wife. The second best thing in the world is spending other people's money.
I love how he like adjusted that really fast.
Uh-huh.
And so he
Almost got him framed.
yeah. So he would inquire about the realm of possibility, and depending on the answer would determine what he did next thereafter.
Okay. You're going to try to get that. Okay. They look at you and say, we will have to check, but it is a barbaric thing that you ask for. And Covet, you will hear them say the term barbaric thing that you asked for.
And she perks up real quick and she's like, Twilight?
Yes, my dearest.
You said my dearest. What are you up to?
Just doing some inquiry.
There's a lot of things you can inquire about, but what is this particular inquiry?
Oh, wow. Thought maybe you'd be interested in me having a tattoo?
Do you really think that our host would allow that? I think we're pushing it with the food.
You never know. Unless you ask.
Covet the noble would be appalled, but Covet the Fae is intrigued. She is having an internal conflict that is massive right now.
How does Covet the wife feel about it, though?
Covet the wife is always like tats, so. So, the question is, do you have the gold to pay for it?
Absolutely not. That's why I'm seeking to spend other people's money.
She goes over and looks at his coin purse, and she's like, "You definitely don't have the money to pay for that."
That's why I asked. I mean, an establishment of this grand nature, I would make the guess that they had an in-house artist.
They do
And
not
since
have
we
a
are-
tattoo artist here. They will have to go and acquire one if you want to do this.
Okay, real life. We've stayed at some nice places. Have you ever seen a tattoo artist in these nice places?
You'd be surprised what the concierge are able to acquire.
You're not wrong. But again, you don't have the money for it. So,
Which is why I'm suggesting other people's money.
oh, Twilight, just inquire, but don't push. Just because the Fae in her is going, possibly. But at the same time, she's looking at him going, as a noble.
So let's go ahead and get you to roll a persuasion check, Twilight.
And she's just watching. She is watching hard. Arms crossed, eyebrow raised.
All right. The gentleman looks at you. So be it. I'll see about acquiring the services of a talented individual. And he's going to get out of the room.
I mean, let's have an internal meltdown. Twilight's wanting to see if he can actually pull this off.
Okay.
Is it going to be a tattoo across your forehead that says stupid?
No, this would be probably both sleeves and across my back.
So you really want to be sore, huh?
I mean, this is the magical capital of Toyovoa, and so why not partake in some of the offerings that the city has available?
Anna's going back to her room now to do some more note taking.
More note taking. Consumption of foods.
Just little bites because I
Cut it.
couldn't begin to eat all of this. But if I'm uncertain as to what something is, then I can take a small bite of it to determine what's in it.
Okay. Sampling.
You better hurry because the moose is hungry.
Did Winkle and Ayla share a room?
No. Now they're next to each other, but they're not shared.
So the door between was open then.
There's not a door between.
I just came over to say hi to her. In the most musical way.
How is the most musical way?
Yeah, how is the most musical way?
I love you, Moosely. Moosely, dear.
You
And
hear
here I
this
thought I was a
song,
resident.
Ayla, does that song work for you?
I guess as Ayla, maybe a little bit. As the player, not really.
Okay.
I'm just gonna say that totally tracks.
Totally tracks. All right. So, as you guys each have your breakfast and your morning activities, what would you like to do?
Well, when we all gather together, I'd like to start discussing, I guess, who we're going to try to find first.
I mean, didn't we want to go see Narif first because of potential timeline stuff?
All I know is that with Nafris, Covet is going to want to, as Covet, she would want to stay away from him as much as possible, considering he used her visage to take something that didn't belong.
With Nafis, yes, I've been thinking about how we should handle him, or are we in a position to even seek his approval? Or do we wish to confront him?
Covet will say, personally, I would love to confront him, but I do not have the proof. It would be no better me confronting him than the accusations that happened to me in front of the judge of the dead. It would be that I have no proof. And he could just stand there and call me a liar and throw us out. So confronting him, I don't think would be a good idea.
Right. I do not necessarily mean accusing him outright. After all, we do not even have Neve's testimony, merely her speculation. And I suppose the fact that she did find the seal at his office or residence. But perhaps seeing what his side to the story is going to come into play at some point. Or perhaps we see if any of the others know anything about his activities.
You know that I am one to go straight for the heart of something, if necessary. But this, I would suggest us see what his peers think of him first. I would hate to get in there and then him accuse me of the wrongdoing and be arrested. Or worse. So that is my thought. Now, I am open to suggestions from anybody else, and I will go by way of consensus. But those are my thoughts on the situation. I am not going to lie. Between you and the others in this group, I am wary, to put it mildly.
Wariness is good. I've known that things are not as they seem. Perhaps Adika Al-Rasan is the best person to see then. She has the ability to see into futures and past. Perhaps if we can set the scene, so to speak, we may have clarity that we do not.
That makes sense to me, especially with this whole timeline craziness that we have been through for me. Ayla, Winkle, Eowyn, Twilight, what do you think?
I think Sadiq may be a good idea. The other one I was thinking of maybe was Idris, because he deals with trade. And perhaps we could talk to him about establishing trade routes.
I
I
think we
would
should
actually like to talk to him at some point.
Yeah.
I think we should be talking to all of them to see what they think of this guy. They may be able to back us up in getting what we need out of him.
Agree. Putting him into a corner would get us a long way.
Yeah,
But at
I
this,
like it.
it is wrong. It is not wrong. You know, it could get us the wrong way. I mean, a long way. But at the same time, He could act like a wounded animal and lash out.
I could sit on him.
You're a little flammable, and he deals with fire.
Oh yeah.
He deals with
And
fire.
Yeah,
He
And it's-
does.
Should we talk to him
We
first?
call him the Whispered Flame.
he's the one that framed me.
Uh.
Yeah. I love the what sort of word I'm looking for? The aggressions. Yeah, that's it. Enthusiasm. I love the enthusiasm. Because trust me, since he's probably the one that framed me, I would love nothing more than to toast him to a cinder. But he deals with flame, so probably not a good idea.
I thought I was gonna have a friend there for a minute.
Yeah. Well, you mean you go.
got a
He's-
friend in me.
He's also the rival of Rafage, and I think right now we need to keep Rafage on our good side, especially while Twilight's spending all this money.
Up. Well,
Oh, you're doing what?
Twilight's doing what?
Our feast
We need to
this
spend
morning.
other people's money.
Our feast this morning. Rafage is footing the bill thanks to Twilight, and he likes spending other people's money for them.
Otherwise known as opium.
Twilight, we really can't afford to have our reputations be that of one who takes advantage of gifts we receive.
My thoughts exactly.
Is it guests or is it equal exchange of services rendered?
Twilight, what if we
It
get
is
on his
whatever
bad
the
side? Then what?
perception of it is.
Trust me, I've tried having this conversation with him. He is not willing to be reasoned with.
And what services have we rendered for him?
There's a knock at the door.
Oh, great.
Thank God.
Covet gets up and she inquires to whom it is before she opens the door.
I'm Takui. I was hired.
She looks at Twilight and is like, "Is this the person you were expecting?
Who?
Takui? He was hired?
I wasn't given a name.
What is your..." she opens the door a crack and just kind of looks through the crack and says, "And what is your business?"
I'm a tattooist.
She opens the door.
Hi,
And
I'm
she-
here to do some tattooing.
You have a lovely sleeve. You have two lovely sleeves. Beautiful. And legs and a necklace and all the things. Yes, very lovely.
Thank you. Who am I going to be working on, and how can I be of service? I've been paid handsomely.
Oh my goodness. And she says, "I believe this shall be your canvas." My husband.
She looks
What?
at you, looks at him, looks at you, looks at him. Not the strangest thing.
I've heard worse.
Twilight raises an eyebrow.
She reaches back into the hallway and rolls in a suitcase.
I am not gonna lie, I am all over her earrings and just the whole aesthetic. She is just amazing. Oh,
She's an awesome character that we've established long, long ago.
and how do we spell her name? I'm
Her-
sorry.
Her name is Takui Two Claws.
And I'm just saying, she's hot.
This is the first time she's been seen in Toivoa. She was formerly in Cormir.
Ah, okay. So, Twilight, I believe you, my love, are her canvas.
Absolutely.
I
She's...
rest my case about the money spending.
She smiles. So, you're okay with me getting my claws into your husband? As she
I'm okay
begins
with
setting
it.
up a small folding table and a series of inks.
I am okay with it, in a professional sense.
Of course. Oh. Oh. I'm sorry. I'm extremely embarrassed. You're welcome to stay and make sure that everything's up and up.
Of course.
I'm sorry. I mean, down. I'm sorry. I mean, you understand. Professional.
She comes over. She comes over and takes her hand in one hand, and then pats the top of her hand with
You
the
can hear
other.
her pulse in her hand. She's a little nervous at the situation that you have asked her to get her claws into your husband.
She pats her hand with the other and just says, "Breathe. I'm just playing. It's okay."
She smiles.
Breathe.
And you guys are a little close at the moment. And at this uncomfortable closeness, you'll hear a sound. And Takui and you both can turn to look in Twilight's direction at the same time.
Twilight is visibly shaking.
She looks back at you. I'm sorry. Yes, the tattoo. What exactly were we looking for?
Covet then looks at Twilight, raises an eyebrow, and says, "Yes, what exactly were we looking for?"
Well,
As she bends over to start arranging her inks.
The one that I was inquiring about of the possibility of a Blood Fury tattoo.
She pauses, looks up at Covet. You're sure? That's not for the faint of heart, and, well, there are side effects. You understand. It's not usually civilized to get Cormirian tattoos. Are you sure? I mean, I know how to do them. They're just tribal.
Well, we are not unique. Well, we are unique. We are unique. And we like things that are unique to go with our own uniqueness.
She
Because
looks
you're
at
like
the two of you. How unique are we talking? Because I may need to talk to a friend.
She looks at Twilight.
So, what are these side effects that you are so hesitant about?
Well, during the application, it's possible that you could go insane, and, well, I'm not responsible for any actions you may or may not perform, and so we would have to, of course, chain you down.
Well, there are those here that would argue that I'm not very sane to begin with, so that's probably not much of a change.
Hold up, wait a second.
Well,
Like,
now
what are
wait. If we get a chance to chain him down, it may be worth it.
That's my job, not yours.
Oh,
Okay, so what are the percentages of him going, oh, I don't know, insane?
Well, that depends on his force of will, his determination to remain who he is, and not be washed away by the blood fury he's asked for.
well, he's
Twilight.
hopeful.
So you realize the process of this literally is going to alter your blood in order to facilitate engaging in the more primal aspects of Corlanite culture.
I'm sorry for butting in, but I don't think this is a good idea.
I agree.
Cabot raises an eyebrow and says, do you mind just giving us a second? And she walks over to Twilight and pulls him over to a corner.
She's going to sit on the edge of the bed and raise one leg and cross it over, revealing thigh.
Covet is not blind. Covet will look at her and go, and then turn back to her husband.
Mhm.
And she looks at Twilight and says, as she drags him over to the far side of the room in a corner and is like, what exactly are you wanting? Word for word. No Faye second, double meanings. I know you. What are you getting?
You asking me to deny my nature.
For this, yes. Just as you would want me to do the same.
Oh.
Because your life is not an option. Your sanity, as small as it is not an option.
I was looking for any potential opportunity to increase capability. Being in the magic capital that we are, I was looking at all possibilities. Having access to OPM, other people's money, increases those opportunities. And I thought maybe a tattoo that greatly enhances my combat prowess would be the way to go.
My love, I know you better than anybody else. You're still dancing. I'm looking for the straight shooter that you are. Tell me the truth. Give it to me straight.
I wanted to see what I could get away with.
That's a given. We already know this. This is established. But what exactly are you asking for?
So, Covet, can I get a religion or arcana check from you? Because we discussed the Blood Fury tattoo. Let's see how much you know.
Arcana or what?
Religion.
Let's go religion, because I got advantage on that bad boy.
Okay.
Give it to me.
So, Covet Von Sin, the Blood Fury tattoo is literally going to infuse Twilight with the powers of vampirism.
Does he turn into a vampire?
For all extensive purposes, yes. Because he will literally be dealing necrotic damage and sucking the life force out of others.
Does he actually draw blood? Like, eat blood?
He could. Technically, he could. Could you not, Twilight? With an unarmed strike?
I could.
Would it provide you nutrition? I mean, seriously, if we're going to go down this path, How much vitamin D would this be providing you?
Like,
Crazy.
Oh no! Oh no! I'm going down this path on purpose. All right.
Vitamin D is a euphemism for something different that we're not going to go into, but he's going to get plenty of iron.
I was going to vitamin D for a reason, but okay. All right.
Yeah, well, maybe it is vitamin D.
Okay, but because okay.
Thank you.
So we'll stick with iron just for you.
Thank you. Just gonna, yeah.
Uh-huh. So, how vampy are we gonna come? Are we gonna be like spawn vampy? Are we gonna be like can't walk around in the daylight vampy? Or are we gonna be talking like blade vampy?
With your religion check, it would be more blade vampire, where he would not be vulnerable to light. He's not going to be allergic to garlic or silver, more than he already is. He's not going to be prevented from crossing running water. He's not going to have to sleep in a coffin underground or be buried in the dirt of his homeland or anything like that.
Okay, but how would that coincide with MKL?
He's not undead. He's simply reducing the life forces of others for his own benefit.
and increasing their opportunity to meet MKL.
That's valid. This is more of the primal side of a vampire.
So, technically, he is not undead.
He would not be undead, no.
And how much this kind of tattoo would that run, generally?
60,000 gold.
OPM.
And Takui is sitting over there ready to perform the tattoo, as she is currently attaching chains to the 4 legs of the bed.
Cabot looks at the change and is like, dang, that's kinky. But at the same time, she looks back at Twilight and says, you do realize this is the equivalent of a Fey bargain. You are going to have to relinquish something, bring something to the table for this to be okay. Because nobody will ever drop this amount of money for that unless there is something they want instead. It's a give and take thing, and there is definitely a lot of take right now. Be smart. Be the Twilight I know you really are. And she looks at him pointedly. Not the fool. The smart one I know you are. She looks at him pointedly and is willing to accept whatever he chooses, but knows that something like this is as bad as a Fey bargain. What is the cost for something like this? Not necessarily money.
Well, with your insight, it's not Takui who's going to be involved in the debt.
It's Rafad.
It would be
It's
Rafad.
Rafad.
It would be a political debt.
Exactly. What political debt would we be in? Considering we don't have Shantara Grove yet.
This would help me get Shintargo.
Would it?
Yes.
And what will we owe him? Think about it. 60 grand. That's not a small sum.
Is this conversation loud enough for the rest of us to hear?
Through the doors, Covet is being commanding, I believe, right?
Very, very.
So,
Because she's trying to make him think with his face side that he is not thinking of right now.
so these windows have no glass in them. So yes, you can easily hear this, at least through the windows.
Ayla's going to go knock on this Lauren's door. Knock, knock, knock.
Like, we're all in the same, but, well, apart from Covenant and Twilight, we're all in the same
Yeah.
room.
Yeah.
I thought we were all in the same room.
No,
Okay,
you're
yeah.
not in the same room. You could be in adjoining rooms with open doors as a suite. If you'd like to do that, we can do that.
I mean, I meant like in terms of like where we are right now.
Okay,
like, in
okay,
the
We
okay.
can
conversation.
do
Yeah.
that.
Alright.
Sure.
Okay. So it's Lauren.
I
are
thought
you
we were all in
hearing
the same
this?
room.
It's Lauren. Are you hearing this?
Yes.
What?
Shall we?
How would this change his life and his ability to lead? And once he gets Shantari Grove, because I'm trying to think positively here, how is it going to affect his leadership as king?
First, can I roll a religion check to see what I know about these tattoos?
Of course.
Sure. Because I don't know anything.
I know nothing about these tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
Ayla, roll! Dang it, you're a cleric!
So, Islarn is as good as Jon Snow.
Yeah.
No, it's
all
not.
I know is what Covet's been saying about them.
Ayla, you know
And,
everything we've been discussing.
I know that this tattoo, while it provides strength and the ability to suck the life out of things, I do know that it demands an awful lot from the individual, in that, heck, they know even by accident they can kill somebody and there's nothing they can do to stop it. What's that going to do to him?
That is what I'm afraid of. Oh, in addition to the politics of it. But it's certainly someone who's not in control of themselves.
Yeah.
How could they
He
be
would-
fit to rule?
Yeah, he would not be in control of himself.
And I'm deliberately saying this loud enough that it's audible in
Yeah.
the room where Covenant and Twilight are.
Yes. We're both talking loudly enough
we-
to be heard.
yeah.
At that, Covet opens the door and opens it and says, Ayla, is Lauren? Back up! Now!
Yes, ma'am.
As you
Because
two
she heard-
walk in, you see this voluptuous woman seated on a table seated next to the bed, currently suspended with chains. Not suspended, but setting up chains on the edges of the bed, corners, etc. And you see a collar up at the head of the bed, ready to be set up. She looks up at you with a smile.
With that being said, she gestures Ayla and Islarian to come in, and she's like, I know you heard.
We weren't trying to eavesdrop, but your voices carry through the windows.
I figured. I don't think this is a good idea.
Neither do we. I think I can say that for Islan.
Neither. I know very little about what this is, but well, I know you do not care about arguments about the means, only about the ends. Therefore, let me tell you what I see about the ends.
I'm listening.
She smiles
If we
very big at his Lauren. I'm just saying.
if what Khaled and Ayla are saying is true, and this detracts from or sanity, for lack of a better word, then first of all, you will have difficulty taking the grove and holding it and resisting whatever dark magics have fallen upon it. Secondly, if you recklessly spend someone else's money, it will sour our reputation here. It will cause him to consult with the rest of the team and move against us and deny us the ability to meet with the Sultan, deny us the ability to gain the next piece of the shard that we need, and therefore deny us the ability to reach the grove and cleanse it. Is that what you wish?
It is noon.
The other thing you may not realize is that you lose a certain amount of control of your own self. While this may be okay in fighting a battle, it's not going to be good in day-to-day life, particularly when we get Shantari Grove back and you become king. I'm afraid it will affect your ability to rule wisely. And I don't think that's what you want. And that's an end result.
That would be unfortunate.
You really
What do you
need
think
to
you are
think-
going to do?
Y'all stepped on each other. I didn't hear them.
Oh, I was just going to say
Go
you
ahead,
really
Ayla.
need to think long and hard about this because it will affect your relationship with everyone you know.
Just Lauren.
What do you think you are going to do?
Twilight's having an internal debate right now. There's also such a thing as sunk costs, and the fact that the tattoo artist is already in the room is a large variable in this equation.
With an insight check, Twilight, you could get a different kind of tattoo, even just a mundane one, and that would satisfy Covet to a degree without inconveniencing the tattoo artist.
GM sent you a message
Okay.
in roll 20.
I see that. I will send you a message as well. Make sure here. I will check that out.
I mean, couldn't he find even a mundane tattoo, or couldn't he find a tattoo that grants something like wisdom or something like that?
Be charismatic AF. Be more so.
There you go.
Okay, and the step up.
Step up from that we're looking at.
Yep.
Pull that one up.
I know both are pricey. I'm just asking.
Yep. So There you go. That's up to you
Okay.
guys.
Okay. That being said, as Twilight makes this decision, and starts pondering, she goes and asks Miss Two Claws about
Oh, no.
this
Takui.
Kui.
Only my boss calls me Two Claws. And only at night.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So Takui, are there any issues with and she gives her a paper with what she wants, the first one that I
Okay.
asked you about.
Uh-huh.
Are there any side effects for that one?
Well, it's uncomfortable to get, but we can do this.
And GM, just to clarify, what I sent you,
Yeah.
the letter, that is confirming better than what I've got, right?
Yes.
And it's still in accordance with me wearing armor, or is
You would not
or did I?
you would lose you would not get the benefit with armor on. You have to not be wearing armor. That's the whole point of it.
Okay, so that being said,
I'm going to go take a look at your character sheet and see if this would actually benefit you or not.
yes, I'm just making sure.
Yes, ma'am.
Because if it doesn't, because I'm willing. I just want something,
So this
and it would be
thing,
something that I would pay for, not Rafaj.
that's up to you.
No, that's what I would pay for, not
Okay.
Rafaj, because she does not want that kind of debt.
So yes, this would benefit you. Especially if you got rid of the armor.
If I got rid of the armor and had, okay,
Mm-hmm.
I would just need to have, I could potentially trade the armor for something better and clothy,
Theoretically, yeah.
theoretically.
Yeah.
Okay.
You just would need to figure out what you want, but this would provide you with an AC bonus. You'd simply lose the leather wings of the Shadow Dragon.
Right. But theoretically, I could have better AC, lose the wings of the Shadow Dragon, still be the glass cannon that I want to be, but
Yeah.
but have, pretty cool clothy
Uh-huh.
if I wanted to.
Yeah.
Okay, so then she's going to look at Takui and say, and she looks at Twilight and says, I know what I'm doing. And she gives Takui the bill and says, I want this, but I am paying for it, not Rafaj.
She smiles. Okay. That's fine. And she will write up a little bill and give you a couple of design choices from a flash book. Because that's what these are called. When you get tattoos, they have little flash books that are designs. And this would be for the... You're getting this one. So...
I have an idea for the design I want, if that's okay with you.
This is one limb.
Like, what do you mean one limb?
It's going to cover one limb because this is a rare tattoo. It has to cover an entire limb.
Sleeve.
Okay, I want it to be a
or, a leg.
I want it to be a sleeve, but primarily a pile of books and a dragon sitting on top of the books as like it's. I want to be a book dragon. I want it to be a book dragon. Yes, please.
Okay.
And Twilight is going to post it because this is actual tattoo I'm looking at getting.
Okay.
I'm really excited. So to have this on my character would be fantastic. But it would be a sleeve.
We both know the tattoo artist I would recommend.
Oh, absolutely. And I would definitely go to that tattoo artist. I've seen their work and I'm over the moon. It's exactly what I'm looking for.
For
I'm
those who don't
willing
know,
to
I
travel.
will go ahead and endorse this guy. This guy lives up in Canada. His name is Pavlov. He is amazing.
He is wonderful.
I've seen his stuff. I've seen his stuff. He is amazing.
He is so good. Oh my goodness.
Plus, the story is just great. Anyway.
Oh, for sure. But Twilight, as soon as he can, he
Sure.
will go and he will send that picture to you, so you can post it to. Actually, I want it on my leg.
On
Not
the
my
leg?
sleeve, not my sleeve, on the leg.
Okay.
The thigh.
Doing thigh down?
Yep, thigh down.
Okay. All right. So.
But the bulk of the dragon in the books is going to be on the thigh.
Understood. So, she's going to look at you. This sounds really fun.
Full color, if you could.
Oh, of course. This will be a little bit awkward. Do you want spectators?
She looks at the group and is like, well, they've seen me at my worst and they've seen me at my best. I will leave that to them. Guys, I'm getting a tattoo. Y'all can stay or y'all can go. It's up to you. She is not shy.
The moose says, bye.
I think
Yeah.
I'm gonna go too.
I'll leave.
Okay. It's
I'll
Lauren.
depart as well.
Okay. Twilight.
I'm staying.
Okay. So, as the doors close, leaving the two of you here, Takui's going to gesture to the bed where the chains are. We don't need to actually use those, but it might help keep you still.
Yes, we're going to use the chains.
We are.
Just one side.
Okay, I'm cool with that.
Both?
One side. Don't push your luck, my love.
And she goes over and gets you all situated where she chains up one ankle and one arm and gets that one side stretched out, left or right.
She's probably gonna want it on her right.
Okay.
I like chains the other side.
For the record, this picture is in Discord
Mhm.
in our chat. So it's an AI thing, but this is is the inspiration for what we're looking for.
Okay.
In the future, in real life.
Awesome. Cool.
And you are welcome to post that if you want. I'm fine with that.
I can't put it into the Roll20, unfortunately, but
That's fair.
so Takui is going to get you chained up and is going to go over to the inks and she's going to smile at Twilight. I don't think she wanted the other side done. And it's all about consent here.
Not until we know her better, baby.
And she's going to pull up one of the ink bottles that she's got, and it's a very wide ink jar. It's not one of these small ink jars. It's a good 3 inches in diameter. And she sets out the different colors. She sets out the teals, the yellows, the various oranges that you've got there. And she sets these all out and goes, now, I have a little bit of an exotic technique and I hope you don't mind. But I find that I get more precision this way.
Okay. What kind of technique is this?
She opens her mouth and you see she has fangs. And
Covet looks at her and then looks at Twilight and then looks at her and says, "Continue."
do you want a something to calm you down? Because some of this might tickle.
Just enough to take the edge of the tickle away.
She will hand you what looks like a little fudgy brownie. She breaks it into 4 pieces and hands you just a fourth of it.
She takes it and she knows exactly what this is and just pops it in her mouth and she's like, and she revels in the taste of it, and is ready for the relaxation that's going to follow.
As the opium enters your system, she's going to go over to your thigh, and we're going to expose your thigh, and she is going to begin biting down on your thigh with the inks, and we'll apply the tattoo over the series of the next hour up and down your thigh. I assume the outer thigh.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes. For the sake of PG-13, yes.
Okay. I will say that this is the entire limb, so it's not just the outer thigh.
Oh yeah.
So.
It's hilarious to look at the camera and see Ayla and Boinkle just be bright pink. This is great. You got some.
All right. Twilight, it's quite the show. But
Yeah.
after the 4 hours of this, Covet, your tattoo will be done, and she will lotion up your entire leg because it goes from your hip bone down to your toes and all over,
Love it.
including the bottom of your foot, which was excruciating, and you're thankful for the chains.
Yep.
She gets up. Well, that was delicious.
Glad I could.
She begins packing things up.
I'm glad I could accommodate.
Twilight, you just watched Takui bite up and down your wife's leg for 4 hours. This was quite a show. This is probably better than the Blood Fury tattoo, as memories.
Absolutely.
After she packs up her stuff, she smiles and begins undoing the chains for Covet.
You hear a "Aww."
He smiles. Wow. A pleasure as always. I hope that wasn't too uncomfortable.
No, that was quite riveting.
She smiles. Well, I hope that you find us again in the future. We're down at Takui's Tattoos, down on
Takui's?
22nd 3rd Street. And have a wonderful day. Pleasure doing business with you. And she's going to ask for payment.
I give her the 8 grand.
Okay. She's going to take the various gemstones and coins, and she's going to put them in her suitcase.
It's all in coin.
8,000 gold coins is a heavy suitcase.
Oh yeah, I know. That's why I'm giving her 8,000 gold.
She's going to take the 8,000 gold pieces, put it in her suitcase, and she's going to cast a spell inside this room. And she's going to whisper something into the magic spell that appears in front of her face as a small golden disc in midair.
Cool.
It'll be just a moment. I don't feel like walking around town with this much gold by myself.
Oh, that's fair. You must be safe.
After a few moments, you hear a knock at the door. That's my bodyguard. Excuse me. And she's going to go to the door, and she's going to slip out the door. And is gone. Leaving you with your fresh tattoo. Covet, you do gain a level of exhaustion due to the pain involved in getting an entire leg tattoo done in 4 hours.
That's fair.
Got my tats and takuis. Yep.
That is 100% fair. Covet will get up and go and inspect it at the at a mirror.
The full-length mirror. Yep.
Yeah.
The dragon is not just sitting on the books. And it's not quite as cute of a dragon as what you have there, but more of a full-on leg dragon that with the tail wrapping around your knee and the back of your calf to your ankle and ending in a series of spikes and on the tail that go down your toes towards your toenails.
Oh my gosh, that is so totally exactly what I want. Ah, that's so amazing.
Like a stegosaurus, the nails on the end of the tail will be your toenails.
I love this so much. Oh my god. And she looks at Twilight and turns real abruptly, but probably going, "Ooh, yeah, that smarts just a little bit."
He looks at her and goes, "You're welcome."
I love it. Oh my god, I'm a book dragon. Yes! And she totally fangirls for a second, and then she's like, "All right, I'm good. I'm fine." And then she looks at Twilight again and goes, "I'm a book dragon!" And then is fine and breathes again. And then she's like, "Okay, this is gonna really smart. So I'm gonna have to take it easy, or somebody's gonna have to cast a spell to make sure this heals right."
Covet, for the next 24 hours, you can only sit on your left cheek.
That's what she does anyway. She only sits on one cheek or the other. I mean, that's just the whole sexy pose that she does.
Yes,
you know
but
this.
now you can only sit on one side.
It's gonna go numb. It's gonna be fine.
All right. So, what were the rest of you guys doing for 4 hours? Ayla, Eowyn, Winkle, and Islarin.
Ayla took a nap after sampling all those goodies this morning. Yeah, my tummy hit my sleep button, so I went to sleep.
Your sleep button. I'm not going to comment on that. I know where that sleep button is on me. It's right in the middle of my forehead. It's like... Yeah. All right. So, Winkle, what were you doing for 4 hours when Ayla went and took a nap?
Well, since I decided to take a snack, I finished off all the food in the room.
Okay.
All of it. Now I am up against the wall, leaning up against it, burping and going, "I shouldn't have done that."
As Prego Moose over there is currently recovering from the food with Ethiopian baby belly, we go to Eowyn. What did you do for 4 hours, Eowyn?
Eowyn mainly sat by the window in this room and watched outside of it.
Okay.
Nothing too chaotic like the other two.
All right. While you're sitting outside or sitting at the windowsill looking outside, can I get a perception check from you?
Yeah. I think it would stop doing that.
With an 18, Okay, Awen, with an 18, you will see during these 4 hours a griffin.
2 wires.
You will see a griffin land in the city with a rider on its back. It has a bridle and a saddle. The figure has a long red cape that trails behind them like a comet fall as the griffin descends from the skies. It goes towards the center of the city and disappears into one of the buildings. As you sit here waiting for the couple of hours, 3 hours after it descended, the same griffin rises up into the air once again with the rider on its back, that red cape easily 40 feet long, trailing behind them like a banner. This griffin is black from head to toe to tail, completely black. It glistens in the sun with a slight iridescence like an oil sheen as the rainbow shimmers, and it heads eastward from Shatter Shaddai. Islaren, what did you do for 4 hours?
So I went to the lobby to see if I could get some information from the concierges here.
Sure.
I wanted to ask them, first of all, like, is it possible to like charter one of the like powered carriages?
The concierge will nod. Of course, madam. How many would you like?
Oh, first, how much does it cost?
The bill will be covered by Lord Rafaj.
That may be the case, but how much does it cost? I wish to be conscious of the be aware of the level of generosity we are experiencing
For a day.
and not take advantage.
Of course. For a day's use of a chartered carriage, it would cost 50 golden pieces.
Understood. And how many can a carriage fit?
8.
I see. All right.
If you wish for something more private, there are smaller carriages for romantic excursions.
I may keep that in mind. But
course, ma'am.
for now, business comes first.
Of course, hence why I recommended the limousine.
Of course, and I appreciate that. Now, we are seeking conversations with other members of the team as well. Would you happen to have knowledge of where we could find Sadiqa Arasan or Idris Maham?
Of course. We have their addresses, and their mage towers are quite prominent in town. They're well known.
You have their addresses. Do you have the addresses for the rest of them?
He does, and he will provide them for you.
I am very grateful for this.
Yeah. It's actually a small brochure that contains the basics of where the I guess it's kind of like the tour of the stars. It'll go through a couple actors and minor celebrities in addition to the Batim. It's a tourist brochure for browsing the city.
Right? Yeah.
If you've ever been to Hollywood, they have these all over the damn place.
Well, I'll thank him and I'll head back upstairs to rejoin the group and let them know what I found.
All right. So you rejoin the party upstairs. Covet and Twilight, do you rejoin the party in the suite?
Yes.
Okay. Twilight, the chains were removed from the bed. Takui took them with her. Those were trade tools, so those are no longer available to you.
And there was much disappointment.
Oh well. So, the rest of the party all reconvenes here within the suite. Ayla, you had a 3 to 4 hour nap? Was that enough?
Oh yes, and I feel so much better.
You
I'm
come
ready
out,
to do whatever we need to do.
Ayla, you come out. The dinner carts and all of the leftovers have been decimated. All of the wine bottles are empty. The cognac decanters are transparent and clear. You see the rum bottles tilted on their sides, and leaning up against the wall, you see Winkle.
And
Rotund.
I turn him and just, Bwinkle, what did you do?
Oh, nothing, my little sugar dumplings.
Oh no, he did not say that.
The filter is off, Ayla.
Oh, I hate names like that. Winkle, you're going to suffer, and it's nobody's fault but your own. You're being a glutton.
Is that a bad thing?
Yes, it is. You're going to get too big for your armor.
Well, my mama always told me don't let food go to waste.
Your mama ever see you eat like this and drink like this?
No, but she called me her little garbage disposal.
You're not a little garbage disposal. You're a big garbage disposal. Oh, what am I going to do with you?
Oh, anything you want.
Stand there and try to feel better, okay?
I'll go walk down the hall. Do you see any trash cans I can hold on to?
Winkle, you said you ate all the food.
Yeah.
And drank all the drink.
Yeah.
As Winkle steps away from the wall, Winkle, you do not need to make a saving throw because it is impossible for you to succeed on this check. Winkle is like an enormous redwood that has been cut down. He is slowly descending into a massive crash into the floor.
Just leave him there. He's too big to move.
The amount of food he consumed was too much to move. Add that to the moose, and he is far too big to move. As you hear the sound come from the back end of the moose, not the front. Covet, Twilight, you are exposed to moosey asparagus farts.
Not the first time.
Understood.
Lovely. Anybody got a blanket we could at least throw over his back end?
I got a torch.
No, I don't want to burn him. He'd burn to death with all this hair on him.
I thought you fixed a hair problem.
He's still got hair.
We can
It's
fix
just
that.
not. No, I'm not shaving him.
Yes, we have to shave him.
Twilight, do you break out your grooming kit?
Absolutely, we're gonna shave this moose.
No. He'll
Ayla, do you
freeze to
stop him?
death.
You stand
Yes,
between
I
him?
do.
Okay.
He'll freeze to death if you do that.
You'll
And I
freeze.
hadn't got enough blankets to keep this thing warm.
But instead of quivering, you'll be shivering, moose lips.
And everything else.
You don't want him to jiggle?
No.
All right. So, as you have reconvened and the unconscious Boinkle lays there sleeping it off, what are you guys going to do?
I'm going to try and infill into that room sneakily and see what I can do to Winkle.
Please roll a stealth check. Ayla, you may roll perception because you know he's going to try this. Covet, you may also roll perception. Twilight, do you have advantage for some reason?
I do, because of my boots.
Okay,
I also have advantage.
that's nice.
21.
Islaren, do you care?
I care, but I can't beat a 27 anyway.
Understood. Aowen, I don't think you can beat a 27 either. Twilight's Call. As you sneak around during the next period of time here, determine what you're going to do to Winkle, and we will cover that in a moment. Just send me a message with what you were doing. I understand that that may take a while with one hand.
Yes, it will.
But the rest of the party, the ladies and Aowen, what are you guys doing?
I'm gonna try to push us toward like, okay, are we going to go see Sadika or forgetting the name, Idris next?
I like Shadika. The only reason is because it can shed some light on the whole timeline thing and what I've been through.
I would not be opposed to going to Shadika.
And Eowyn, what do you think? I'm also open to other options as well, but I think those were the two that were most prominent earlier.
Yeah, I'm okay with going to them.
Okay.
All right. So, Twilight, what did you do?
So there may or may not be an inscription on the inside of his rack, ever so subtly. Something along the lines of Twilight was here.
Okay.
And then in and around the face area is Twilight's attempt to recreate the mustachio. So he
Understood.
becomes the mustachio of Moosies.
Understood. So you've essentially shaved around the lips in order to just leave what looks like a college student's furry lip.
Yeah.
With the appropriate application of moose wax.
With moose wax. Understood. So it's got the nice little curl to it, or how are we doing this? Because remember,
yes.
moose lips don't have a whole lot of hair, so this is like, for lack of a better term, a number one guard mustache.
But it's using the moose earwax.
Oh, okay, understood. So we're going to wax that area to be nice and shiny and polished.
Right.
Understood.
The look on Winkle's face right now is amazing.
And it's a 14 for the attempt.
Okay. Winkle, you're unconscious, so you can't detect this. And with a 14, it's a pretty good shave job. It doesn't take a lot of skill to do a decent shave. So, Winkle, your lower snoot here will be shaved into a mustache.
Don't worry. I'll get even.
Does Winkle actually see this, or at least
Not
pays
yet.
enough
Not
attention?
yet.
Not yet. Not yet.
However, Winkle, in your sleep, in this unconscious state, you're eating a snow cone.
Is it yellow?
No. Winkle, the snow cone tastes like a bitter orange. It's disgusting and cold. As you wake up, Winkle, your chin is laying on the marble floor, the bare skin against the stone, and you feel that disgusting feeling that we don't need to go into.
I'm going, what's going on? And I reach up and grab my mouth and go, I've been attacked.
As you've been attacked, Winkle, you can feel for the first time in your entire life the smooth, gentle, baby soft skin that resides under a moose's fur. Flawless and comfortable, but violated at the same time. You look around, and over in the corner, you see Twilight's Call. Smiling.
Oh. I walk up to him, and I go, you did this, didn't you?
Did what?
Winkle, for the record, you feel like you just got done with a fresh shave, which is one of the best feelings in the world.
Not if you're a moose.
Not if you're a moose. Understood.
Can I help you, Winkle?
Oh, Twilight, why would you do this to me?
Do what? Please be specific.
I've always been nice to you. Not
I'm still not
now.
understanding what you think I did to you.
You took my hair.
No, that's what Ayla does. I mean, that's what that 4 bags over there in the corner is, isn't it?
No, there are no bags.
So the moose stares at him, said, yeah, I see what you're doing, but that's all right. I like you anyway. And he took his right hand and patted him not so gently on top of the head.
I is visibly confused as to what's going on right now.
Twilight, not only are you visibly confused, but have you ever experienced passive forgiveness after a prank?
I have not.
This is going to be hanging over your emotional head for a while. Will he get back at you? Is this a plot? Will revenge be served cold? Or has he actually, as the gullible fool that Winkle is, has he forgiven you?
I'm still trying to figure out whether or not he would have actually been able to figure it out that it was me.
Twilight? I will give him at least an insight of a 5. No one else in the room would have done this.
I still want to see the roll.
Okay, Winkle, can I get an insight check? Just because we want to see the roll. That's fine. If he rolls lower than a 5, there will be some doubt. With an 8.
He knows! He knows!
He knows. So,
You say there's a chance.
there's a chance.
Besides the fact that you were standing over in the corner grinning like the Cheshire Cat, you know.
There's no such a thing.
The deduction level of Winkle may be dense. However, he knows that Covet would not have done this, ever. Islarin would not have done this. Ayla would not have done this unless she was kissing him and would not have left the mustache behind. And Eowyn would have burned it. So, just by deduction, you're it.
That tracks.
Winkle, you need to go and find a mirror and look at your rack.
Did he touch my rack?
He touched your rack.
Guys don't touch other guys' racks.
Go look. Go look.
Girls do.
Oh no! I've been violated. It looks like a little Twilight staring at me.
If he didn't have it figured out before, he does now because it says Twilight was here.
Winkle, can you read it backwards?
I think he can.
Roll for it.
Roll an intelligence check across the top. So up the top where it says intelligence, let's just roll intelligence there.
And where it was at was the back side of
You said the
rack.
inside.
Yeah, inside. But what I'm saying is that it wouldn't have been visual from a mirror.
You can always see from a mirror.
Yeah.
So with an
Okay.
8, Winkle, you can
Wow,
see
at
marks
least
on
he's,
there.
he's consistent.
Yep. Winkle, you can see it in there. However, you can't read it backwards, but you can tell that there's a T on there.
Yeah, there's a T. Twinkle comes back over to Twilight and pets him a little harder on the head. Oh, you're such a funny guy.
I'm glad you approve. Goodbye.
He hits you much harder, we're going to have to dig you out of the marble.
All right. So, lunch is available, but you guys are probably still full from breakfast and from the tattoos and your snacks.
Yep.
Are you ready to depart?
Yes, I guess. Are we? I'm ready. Are you guys ready? I'm ready.
I definitely am.
Understood.
Yes, I'm ready.
Onward!
Sweet.
Eowyn, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yay! We're all ready. Let's go.
You guys head out into Shatter Shaddai proper.
We all head out to Shatter Shaddai proper.
Got one job on this ship.
Miss Lauren, you'll be happy to know that I did not get the tattoo. Covet did.
Yep. But I don't owe anybody anything. And I'm not as skishy.
She is limping. Because
It's a
Why
flesh
are you
wound.
limping? Why are you?
Why am I limping? And she, like, pulls the armor aside just a bit, and she's like, because I got this.
Oh, it's going to be magnificent when all the swelling goes down.
I know!
The dragon winks at you, Ayla.
That dragon winked at me. Did
Are
you
you
know
sure?
that the dragon can do that? Your dragon winked at me.
Are you sure?
I am sure.
Are you sure you haven't been inhaling too much moose hair?
No, I haven't inhaled any moose hair in days. By
Uncle's face.
the way, I do have some salve in my bag that will be great to help with the swelling on that, and it'll heal it up much nicer.
Oh, that'll be nice. I'd appreciate that
I'll
for
get
sure.
you when we get back.
Moose balm.
No, it is not moose balm. It's actually based on honey.
It's because I'm sweet. Ha ha!
You're delicious.
That's right.
So-
Don't you forget that.
Covet, when she says that your dragon winked, do you look at it?
She does, because of previous experiences with what happened with absinthe. So she definitely looks.
Covet, as you look at it and you struggle, you realize that when you flex your muscle just in a certain way, the dragon's eye does blink.
Oh, that's so cool! Hey, Ayla, look!
It goes bling, 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 bling.
And she
That's
flexes
awesome!
her leg. It blings! Oh my god!
It's not
I
a
love
magical
it. That
effect.
is
It's just the way it lays right in that crook of the hip.
That is so cute. It's Lauren. Did you see this?
And she looks at his Lauren and says,
She
"It's
does.
Lauren, look, this is really awesome." And she flexes her leg again.
That is quality craftsmanship.
Really? Yeah.
I feel stronger with this thing. Like, less can hit me, which is really awesome because that's what I need. I don't feel so squishy.
Twilight, that eye is right at the hip bone. That's how this works. Is
I love this.
where you raise your leg, it closes the eye.
Oh yeah, so she is like standing there, like raising and lowering her leg, going, "Hey, look at this! This is really cool," and trying to keep her balance.
Cool. So, where are we going? Sidika or Idris? Where's the place we are going to?
It seemed like the consensus was Sidika.
Understood.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Cool. So we are headed towards Sidika's Mage Tower. And as you guys are on your way, you're going to need to roll a perception check, please.
All of us.
Yes, please. As you are making your way through town.
I have advantage, so 26. No, it's a straight roll.
You're disadvantaged because you're exhausted.
I have advantage naturally, and then disadvantage because of the exhaustion, so it'd be a straight roll.
Okay. Awesome.
So
Really?
26.
A 3?
Winkle,
3?
a 3. Yes, sir.
You're distracted by your moustache.
The moustache.
Oh yes. Wondering how quickly he could grow it in like a teenage boy.
I think he... Winkle, would you be growing this back in like a teenage boy or like Tim Allen in the Santa Claus?
Depends. I have to talk to Ayla about this.
Understood.
What do you need to talk to me about?
I'm not going to go there. We don't need to ask that question right now.
Is she gonna ride on the mustache?
I didn't say that. I am not in trouble. I am safe from having said that. Thank you, Twilight, for making the statement so I didn't have to.
Okay, we're supposed to keep this PG-13, and that was definitely not. Stop
That was
it!
still PG-13. We did not go rated R. Anyway.
Yet.
And we're not going to. We can stay PG-13. So, as you guys make your way over to Sidika's Mage Tower, It's very easy to pick out as the golden onion dome of the structure rises in front of you. It's a beautiful but small mage tower, reserved in presentation. As you guys approach, there is a guard out front that greets you. How can we help you?
Greetings. I am Islarin, daughter of Denrin and Kolos. My companions and I were seeking an audience with Sadika.
He looks at you. Did you have an appointment with the Weaver of Fates?
Does she require appointments, or does she know when her guests are set to arrive?
He looks at you, slightly confused. He's not the arcane genius that you are trying to visit.
We do not have an appointment.
But she should be expecting it.
One moment. And he is going to go inside, leaving you guys out here on the street for a moment.
MKL knows if we're in the right timeline for her to expect us. Kevin is just standing there kind of bouncing because she's still kind of high from the opium.
Because she said she was squishy, Twilight will poke Covet to see if that's still the case.
She eeps.
There's an eep. Yep. Where did you poke Covet?
In the ribs.
She eeps again.
Okay. As the biscuit inspection has proceeded, we...
Nope, that's a totally different thing. She just eeps.
Just an eep. Oh, very well.
Yep.
The guard comes back out. Very well. Go on in.
Covet turns around and looks at the tail that has been following them and just kind of salutes them and walks in the building.
You look behind you. You don't see anyone at the moment. But you salute just the city street.
You know
Yeah.
they're there.
You know, I know it's the tail is there because the tail is supposed to be following us the entire time.
Okay.
So she turns around, she salutes the city streets, and turns back into does a beautiful about face, and then walks into the building.
Okay. As you walk into the building, Covet, this is not necessarily because of the opium that you are on, but the opium helps. The building begins to wibble and wobble as the floor seems to flex underneath your feet. As you walk in, it begins to stabilize. Each of you experience similar effects, but to a lesser degree. You guys walk into the living room.
Can I roll?
Go ahead.
Sorry, can I roll a Constitution saving throw for this?
Yes, ma'am.
With disadvantage.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's 1, 2. With 12, would she avoid nausea?
I will ask you.
I would say anything above a 10 would avoid nausea.
Okay.
But she feels enough where she wants to be close to a trash can, so she is looking around the room for a trash receptacle.
You don't see one.
It's Lauren too.
What are you saying about Islarin?
Florin is not a trash receptacle. That was rude.
Covet, you have a
Not
17 right now.
Okay, 17, so she's good. She's able to hold the nausea back. Okay.
But you do feel that funhouse feeling.
Yes.
This isn't morning sickness, is it?
No!
You felt it too if you were listening, Twilight. Not unless we're all pregnant.
So, as you walk in, you will see a figure walk in at the same time. Good day. Welcome to my home. Please, make yourselves comfortable.
Thank you. We apologize for coming in uninvited, but
She waves it off.
we wish to speak with you.
Of course. How can I be of service?
Covet leans into Islarin and not like literally on her, but like closer to her, like because she like sits next to her. Yeah, not quite like that, but definitely is like she knows the state that she is currently in, and would prefer Islarin to speak on her behalf. So she kind of encourages that with her proximity.
Two major points of discussion. First is that we have heard that you have great vision of futures and pasts alike.
Possible futures and many pasts.
There was an encounter that we had along the seas with a judge of the dead.
She raises an eyebrow. I'm unfamiliar with such a entity.
The summary of it is that, and I looked to Covet just for confirmation that I have permission to share the details.
Covet nods.
My friend Covet here was accused of a theft of a seal in the city that she had not been to and she did not commit. And since then, among other things, we have been seeking clarity as to what happened. We believe we've uncovered certain evidence, but I was wondering if there is any insight that you would have access to.
Theft of the seals of Shatter Shaddai is a grave accusation.
It is
Covet
indeed.
Covet just raises her, just says, "I was acquitted, though."
Congratulations.
She nods and looks at Islarin to continue.
Seal belongs to Sir Madrick Hollowell.
She raises both eyebrows. An ancient hero of Shatter Shaddai. What do you know of this theft?
From what the spirit of Sir Hollowell told us, a figure who appeared to look like Covet stole the seal, raised undead, performed vile rituals.
That is why the seals exist, is to raise the great heroes of Shatter Shaddai in times of need.
I was charged of killing. Sorry, I was charged of killing one of the great heroes that guarded the seal, but I was acquitted of that. There were too many things that would not have happened if that was the case. Did not happen if that was the case.
You were acquitted. So why does this concern you?
Because if someone was using her guise, then we fear that they may be attempting to move against her.
And
Ah,
potentially you or the Batim as in general.
truly. A doppelganger or someone in disguise. Why would they choose you and not a member who would be greater influentially?
That is the question.
Do you
At the
have any
moment, we suspect convenience.
do you have any affiliations of note that would be beneficial towards this type of suspicion?
I am a follower of MKL.
Does not MKL abhor undeath?
He does, which makes this even more confounding.
Strange. Someone implicating a devotee of the god of death in the activity of undeath and raising of the dead. For what purpose? Do you know?
Covet looks at Islauren for confirmation before she continues,
I will not
insinuating. Okay. She looks at her host and says, the only thing that we can think of is power. With this seal, it increases the power, the magical power that the wielder has. And to
True.
become more powerful than the rest of the Batim and potentially be able to overthrow the Sultan is my only guess.
Interesting. Do you believe that the Sultan is in danger?
Is he as powerful as rumors say that he is even more powerful than the Batim?
For the first time since you guys walked in, she cracks a bit of a kind smile. The Sultan is supreme in his power over Shatter Shaddai. The Batim are delegates, gifted with authority, but not the power to threaten him. Gaining the power of position would only grant one the responsibility of their role. Sultan Lagos is not in danger, as far as I can tell, unless you have a credible threat.
I'm not aware of one.
The members of the Batim, however, may be. A seal of this type, a seal of finality, could seal one of the Batim into the crypt in order to ensure that the Batim member is reserved for the future. But that has not happened since the last one died.
We have reason
That
to
seal,
believe. Go for it.
could that seal be used on a member of the Batim while they were still alive?
I am uncertain. I am not a necromancer. This type of magic is beyond me. I do not know the answer for this. I would need to consult my associates. However, doing so could tip our hand. I would not wish for the necromancer involved to know that we are onto them. How would you recommend we proceed? Perhaps I could commission you to discover the threat against our people, against the people of Shattershid as a whole. And should you be able to determine why this threat exists, I would grant you my recommendation for a meeting with Sultan Lagos. Would that be acceptable?
Covet looks at Islarin, raises an eyebrow. The meaning is portrayed to Islarin of we are looking for more. We are looking for seals approval. Is this what we're looking for as a whole? Not just to clear my name, but protect the city as a whole.
Islarin will nod at that, and turn to Sadiq and say, I believe our goals are aligned.
Very well. I will grant you a limited license for investigation within the city of Shattershid. Vendors, guards, and other law-abiding citizens will grant you deference in your investigation. Should you have questions for them in regards to these matters, feel free to ask. How many days do you believe this should take?
Perhaps 7.
7 days.
I expect that to be a more conservative estimate.
Then I will grant you the license for 7 days. If your investigation is not completed by that time, return to me and we may discuss an extension. Is that acceptable?
That is acceptable.
Very
And
well.
Covet nods in agreement.
She will cast a spell, and a mage hand goes over and collects a parchment and a pen and begins writing a note of private investigation for you guys. It will emboss the paper with her personal stamp and then seal it with wax that is heated over the fire. While this is going on, she turns to you. How have you found the city? Do you like it here in Shattershid?
It is different than anything I have ever experienced. Some differences for the better, some for the worse, but that is the case anywhere, I believe.
She nods sagely. You were kind, Ambassador.
It lives up to its reputation as the magic capital of Toivo.
But I find it an absolutely beautiful city at the same time.
I am happy for your kind words. As a local, it is sometimes difficult to separate what we see from what is real to others. The perception of a leader is different from someone looking in from outside. It is pleasant to know that you consider it a nice place.
the weight that you must carry as a leader is not to be diminished by the wondrous things that are here. You are obviously a well-suited leader to be where you are.
She smiles kindly at you. Your manners of court are skilled. Your flattery obvious but appreciated.
Truthful. And where I come from, truth is hard to come by.
May I ask where you are from?
She smiles at her kindly and says, "Far away. A Shellian."
She raises both eyebrows at this with a widening of the irises. A Shellian. In the Fey realms.
Yes.
And you left? Or were you cast out?
Lost, but found.
Lost? Oh dear. A lost child of a Shellian here in my house. How exotic. This has made my week. Thank you for your existence, and thank you for visiting.
Covet nods. And then, if to only make your week a little better, I am glad to be of assistance in this small way.
Help me find what threatens my people, what threatens the Batim, and what you believe may threaten Sultan Lagos. And you will receive my recommendation for a meeting with the Sultan himself. Are we agreed?
She looks at at our group. And only when she receives a nod from every single person in our group will she nod back to her and say that there is an agreement.
The mage hand floats the piece of paper
Nod.
over.
Wait.
Winkle's nodding.
Lauren nods.
That isn't all that we seek here on the material plane.
No, it is not. And she looks at Lauren, and then Twilight, and then back is Lauren with an eyebrow raised and question if we can go forward with this.
As Lauren will nod. I'm a lot of nodding.
Yes, you are. You're awesome. Love you for this.
I whip my hair back and forth. I whip my hair.
Oh my god.
I'm told that the Sultan has a shard of the baneful Ashwood Spire.
He is surprised. You are told that. I'm uncertain where you would have heard such a rumor.
We are seeking to collect them, as our ultimate mission is to stop the portals between the realms from bleeding into each other.
Truly. And she is going to subtly cast a spell. As the spell washes out from her, if you guys would like to resist this, you can. Otherwise, you're welcome to just be exposed to this magic.
Do I recognize it? And
You do not, because it was subtly cast.
I mean,
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is impossible
Okay.
for you guys to determine what the spell is because it was subtly cast.
It's probably truth and evil.
As
So
a
yeah.
knee-jerk reaction, Twilight will attempt to resist it, especially if he doesn't know what it is.
Okay. Please roll your
Covet
wisdom
will
saving throw.
Because I am so good at them.
You're shooting for a 23.
Is this a charmed condition?
It is not.
if it is if it's a truth and a zone of truth, then Covet will just assume it's a zone of truth because they've gone through like 3 of them already, and just kind of allow it.
Yep, you don't know what's washing over you, but you feel the magic wash over you.
Right. And I'm not going to try to fight it because I think it's also probably a truth spell.
So if you had this staff, this spire, what would you do with it?
Close the portals.
And once they were closed?
She looks at Twilight.
Reclaim my growth.
Reclaim your grove. What grove is
No.
that?
Is there a compelling or some type of forcing function on this one?
Go ahead and say what you want to say.
Shantara Grove.
The Shantara Grove. And the baneful Ashwood Spire would help you do so how exactly?
No, the baneful Ashwood Spire would help close all the other portals that are bleeding over from the Fey realms to the material plane.
Yes.
Once we've closed those, then I would go back and reclaim my grove. Personally, I don't know that the shards have any association or assistance with the grove itself.
Just with the closing of the portals.
So what would you do with the spire once the portals were closed? Would you surrender it to the Grand Library? Would you keep it for yourselves? What I ask is for the guardianship of the baneful Ashwood Spire. Where would that go?
If we find that it can assist with the growth and cleansing of it and assisting in my reclaiming of it, then it would go with us.
Do you think that wise?
Personally, I don't know what the staff would actually do one way or the other, so I have no foundation with which to make that determination.
The Shantara Grove, which I believe you, is your homeland, and I do believe you intend to redeem such a place, is not a place that magical artifacts such as the Ashwood Spire should be risked. The dangers are too great. Should it fall into the wrong hands on Shantara, the portals could be reopened in earnest, and all of Toivoa, all of every plane would be exposed to its darkness, not just the small rift that has overcome a segment of Utherg.
Sounds like then that it would be in your interest to assist us in ensuring that that doesn't happen by facilitating the cleansing of the grove and returning it to myself.
You seek to cleanse the grove.
I do.
An ambitious goal. But
It
I
is
am
his
not interested in your birthright. It has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with my people.
So you don't have shadows and bleed over here in Shadow Shaddai?
No. We have been shutting portals on a regular basis. The magical powers of the various professors and students here in Shadow Shaddai are sufficient to prevent such incursions. We are not as barbaric as the giants of Malaja Rock. We are not the weaklings and primal beasts of Corlin. You're not the weak-minded people from far overseas. We are civilized here.
And yet each one of those is at risk the longer the grove stays uncleansed, and then potentially removes, replaces, supplants your neighbors to where y'all would be the only thing left.
And if we were to reclaim the baneful Ashwood Spire, we could send people to close the portals ourselves. I am not your opposition. I seek only the protection of Shatter Shaddai. If you can truly ward against the intrusions in the area and return the seal and determine the plot against the Batim, the people, or the Sultan, I will give you my recommendation. I was curious as to your aims for the long term regarding the spire itself. Taking the spire to Shatter Shaddai is not something that I would ever recommend.
You mean Shantar Grove?
To Shintar Grove, I'm sorry. Eric misspoke.
It's valuable information.
Potential allies and or assistance would go far in determining the potential outcomes of the staff upon completion of portal closures.
An allyship would have to be discussed with the Sultan.
So, as she looks at Twilight pointedly, but kindly, understanding what he has tried to do. So, getting her approval to seek the Sultan is what our next step is. So she looks at Islarin and asks, so are we in agreement to find the cause, find the root of the trouble?
Yes.
She will hand you the private investigator's license that lasts for 7 days. This license is good for all 6 of you and allows you advantage on investigation checks regarding this topic, as long as you present it. Okay?
Okay.
Now she is going to ask you pointedly, do you have any leads?
You could say that.
Very well. Investigate your leads and let me know if I can be of service in any way.
You wouldn't happen to have any insight apart from our leads, would you?
The individual in charge of the wards of the great heroes is one of the captains of the guards. There are several, you understand, each controlling a district of the city. The one in question is not far from here. He is busy today, I'm certain, but should you approach him tomorrow on the weekend, he may be available. If anyone knows about a theft, or maybe investigating it without others knowing, it would be him.
And what is his name?
His name, let me grab that. Goodness gracious, where is his name? Oh, goodness, Eric. Sorry. GM Eric has lost his name, and I have to go grab it from my reference sheet.
Introduce Captain of the Guard, number 3.
No. His name is Abdallah Sayeg. There you go.
Father Sayeg?
Abdallah Sayeg.
I actually spelled that right. What?
And Ayla, you recognize this name as the captain of the guard that you knew way back when.
He used to let me play with his little toy daggers.
Twilight holds up a number 5.
No, I told you I knew a captain of the guard. I told you that.
This is true. You were trying to
Yeah.
speak out earlier.
Didn't know the name, but knew the captain of a guard.
I didn't know the name until she said it, and then I recognized it. But I
Remember,
couldn't remember it.
Ayla was a little girl. Like, there's no way she remembered Abdallah Sayeg other than just cute daggers that she got to play with and stab that stuffed animal over and over and over and over again until its plush all fell out.
Did she?
Can you tell us?
I killed one of his dog stuffies one time.
You killed his dog?
Stuffy! Stuffy!
Yeah. All his fur fell out.
You're a violent little thing, weren't you?
I had my moments. At home, I'd had a dog chase me and try to bite me because I was in the wrong place, and Mama told me not to go there, and I went anyway. You know how that goes.
That feels very personal.
Yeah, so I took it out on the stuffed dog.
What the camera sees in the flashback moment is a 4 or 5-year-old Ayla Taylor with a letter opener stabbing a stuffed animal to death over and over and over again, viciously. It's a practice dummy designed to be chewed on by wolves. And her thought is that she has destroyed this thing. In reality, she just poked holes in it.
Oh, I have a new nickname for you.
Daddy McStabberpuss?
No, Violence. She chose violence that day, so her name is Violence.
Eowyn scoots away from Ayla.
I'm not violent. That was a child. Please.
Latent child violent tendencies?
Violence! Yeah, that's your new nickname, Violence.
I believe the diagnosis at the moment is partially repressed.
It's going to be a long time before you get chocolate chip cookies from me.
Hey, I'm just saying like what I'm just saying it like it is. You were violent. Violence.
Tika,
Yes.
what do you think about Nafis ibn Rahman?
She smiles. He's a powerful spellcaster, young man, handsome, but impulsive and to use a popular slang term, a hothead. He is popular with the young ladies and young men as well. He is promiscuous to a fault. He is yet a good man and was chosen for his role within the Batim due to his magical prowess with flame. His mage tower tends to be uncomfortably hot for me. I believe he keeps it such so that his powers are enhanced while within.
Would you say he's ambitious?
Ambitious? To be a member of the team, one had to be ambitious at one point.
But what if it never, excuse the flame pun, but died out?
Nafis is ambitious to learn and grow and become a better enforcer of the laws of Shadow Shaddai. He does strive to improve himself. To that degree, I would say that yes, he is ambitious. He is not washed up or bored. He has not resigned his role, and he regularly competes in duels to establish his position and learn from them. He's a talented evoker.
Thank you.
Why do you ask about Nafis?
Covet looks at his Lauren and raises her eyebrow. She does a lot of eyebrow raises at this point.
Yep.
How does Lauren want to respond to that?
Because Covet is
I
at a
mean,
loss of how she wants to respond to that either as well.
I needed to know beyond a rumor that I had heard.
A rumor. I do like hearing the occasional gossip. What had you heard? After all, the only way to kill gossip is to shine a light upon it. Leave it in the darkness and it festers and grows. Shine a light on it and it withers and dies in the light of truth.
The truth is that one of the leads, while speculative, pointed toward him.
Truly.
Truly.
Well, as having been responsible for the theft of the seal, interesting.
Potentially.
He
I
has
obviously
the capacity for it. He has the skill and magical aptitude to have it done, and he has the political access to gain the proximity to the seal.
But why?
That I cannot speak to. Is it possible? Yes. Is it probable? That I cannot answer. I am not Nafis, nor am I one who knows him very well personally. We have met and had several dinner parties, but he is not someone that I would call a friend.
May I ask a personal question? I don't mean to offend.
I will answer one personal question, if I may ask one of you.
Covet thinks for a moment and then nods in agreement. My question is this. You are one to know the timelines. You protect the city
As
from
best I can.
potential threats. You protect the Sultan from potential threats that you see in various timelines. Is there a way that, and again, not meant to offend or say that you can't do something, but in regards to seeing the timelines, but is there a way that someone could cloud their intentions from your visions?
Intentions are not something I can see. I cannot see motivations. I see actions. I see events, past, present, and future, that vary and shift, but I cannot see purposes, motives, or thoughts.
That is what I thought. It was just a nice confirmation. Someone's intention can change the various timelines. So I understand.
Indeed. Now, may I ask you the question?
A bargain's a bargain.
In a Shellian, what is your favorite memory?
She smiles, and the thought comes to her very quickly. An image that she had when she was young, one of her first few times at court. And she looks at her and smiles and says, one of my favorite memories, Miss Shellian, is going to court. For one of the first few times I was there, I don't remember. I really don't how many times it had been, but it was for a ball. And I was told not to make it to the ballroom, but I did anyway during one of the big parties that Queen Titania had. And I loved seeing all the gowns and the dresses and the formal attire and how everyone danced and the sparkles and how the light reflected and refracted off of the crystals and gems and jewels that I saw. That is one of my favorite memories.
You may wish to engage in one of the various dances here in Shadow Shaddai. Should you ever engage with a sultan, he is likely to hold a party. If you are a guest of his, take advantage of the opportunity to participate in such a masquerade or a waltz in the presence of the sultan. And if you can, acquire a dance with him. I understand you are married, but the opportunity to dance with a man of power and of such dexterity is not to be missed. He's an excellent dancer.
There's visual displeasure from Twilight.
Your advice is noted.
Is there a dance upcoming?
There are dances on a regular basis in the palace. I have not been to one in several weeks, but I'm certain that there would be one in the next few days.
Is there a dress code? I know that with Titania, things could be brutal if you did not dress a certain way at her whim.
It is exceedingly formal. But evening dresses designed for dancing are best. For men, well-tailored suits with loose pants are an absolute must. You must be able to move gracefully, and if you seek to dance on the floor with the Sultan Lagos, be certain that you are capable in your skills. Otherwise, you would embarrass yourself. So, you may wish to practice, or at least brush up. I'm unaware of any dances in Ashelian that do not last for thousands of years. Covet, with
I
your
would-
history of Ashelian, they don't last for thousands of years. But that's the rumor that they absolutely put on in order to make people, intimidated by the situation. They're one-night affairs. But it's a great legend and fable to intimidate the Mortys, the Muggles.
So Covet just looks at her and just smiles and nods, knowing this, and just takes note that the rumors have reached this far.
Okay. So, you have any other questions for Sadika? Twilight, with your history check, it's very common in political circles to allow dances between political parties, especially in Fey courts and other places.
Twilight didn't grow up in the Fey courts.
He did till a young age.
I guess he would not have been. Actually, the Call family would not have gone to many courts, and probably would not have taken Twilight to Ashelian.
No, a Shellian's a totally different animal.
Yeah, so you're probably right. So yeah, Twilight probably would be unfamiliar with this, but know it intellectually, I guess, after research.
With through conversations with his wife, but it's something that he would inherently disagree with.
Understood. That's valid.
It would be a conversation that they would definitely have.
Yeah.
Behind closed doors.
Islarin, however, would know all about this sort of thing. Islarin has been to hundreds, if not thousands, of these things from a very young age. Islarin, we've established that Islarin went to dance classes.
It's been drilled into her from a young age.
Yep. Ayla,
This court would definitely happen.
Ayla would have heard of them, but would Ayla have been participating in noble dances? I don't think so. I think based off of her position, she would have not been in court, but rather on the fringes.
I used to stand in the wings and dance by myself.
Understood. Boinkle, you're not noble at all, are you?
Not in the least.
Except for being a noble moose in your normal presentation. You're not a nobleman at all. And Eowyn, we have
No.
established, is not. So, as this discussion washes over you, each of you has a different opinion on this, on the concept of a noble dance. Islarin, for you, this may even sound, heaven help you, fun.
Islarin would definitely view it as like a great opportunity. Like she's already thinking about, okay, like what kind of dress, what kind of, she mentioned a masquerade, so like she's even thinking about what she can do with that. How we can do this.
Mm-hmm. Cool. All right. So, Sadika will stand. You'll have to excuse me. I have some appointments to deal with. A couple of the various bars in town are seeking liquor licenses in this district, I must meet with them.
Covet goes to stand and says, "We appreciate you taking the time of the day for us."
Of course. Please, enjoy the city of Shadow Shaddai. Investigate the theft of this seal. Provide me with factual knowledge on the situation, and you will gain my recommendation.
Covet nods and says, "Until we meet again."
Until then, a pleasant day and a pleasant investigation. Remain safe. And may magic guide you where you walk. She will wait for you guys to leave.
I think. Yeah, I'm ready
I
to
will
head out.
turn. Yeah, I'll turn and head toward the door.
Same.
All right. So, you guys can leave and go outside. And as you do so, it's a beautiful day here in Shadow Shaddai. And that's where we're going to end, as you guys have a license for private investigation within the city. You've made at least a contact, if not a friend, a semi-ally in this strange magical city who could provide you with another recommendation if you can find out more information about the theft of the seal. So, next week we will investigate further and try to determine what knowledge you guys can gain about the theft, who might all be involved, and where you guys choose to go next. The plot begins to unravel. We'll see what happens next. As always, guys, thank you so much for choosing me to be your GM. There's a ton of amazing ones out there, and I'm always thankful that you choose to play with GM Eric. Do watch the FYI channel in Discord. Check out the Patreon over at patreon.com/GM Eric. And if you know someone who wants to play in one of my games, send them my way. I'd love to talk to them about either getting into the campaign waitlist or joining a one-shot. I do have that Nerd Hollow one-shot on March 13th, where we are going to have a nice light-hearted session. It's going to be a good time. Before we leave for the day, we are going to go ahead and do the drawing for a Sageos Edition hoodie for the clip contest. There were 62 entries in February, so we are going to do 1d62. The numbers for the entries are listed in the FYI channel. And so I'm going to roll this die right now. And with a 52, Tyronius is going to win a Sageos Edition hoodie that will be sent to him.
Yay, Ty!
So, have a wonderful week, everyone. Please stay safe. We will be coming back this evening for a hangout session where we do some prep and discuss D&D and answer your questions. So come hang out. It'll be a good time. We will also be back tomorrow morning with Beneath Fallen Skies, where they are going to resume their main storyline and have a bit of fun exploring what the Wallpath district looks like in present times.